Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Daniel Roman here for winteriscoming.net, and I am super excited today to be here with Zoë Robins, who plays Nynaeve Almira in The Wheel of Time. We're going to talk about season three. Um, Zoe, we're talking kind of on the eve of it premiering. How are you feeling about the third season?
Very excited. Very excited. I feel like we've been sitting on this one for a while. I to be honest, I had wrapped majority of my stuff at the end of 2023, so it's been
Oh,
a long
wow.
time. Yeah, so it feels great. It feels awesome that the world is going to be able to experience season three. I think it's a great season.
Cool. I will totally agree with that. So I have seen all of it. So I'm
Oh
going to
yeah,
flip
you've more than me.
Okay. So I'm gonna flip this on you a little bit because we can run this kind of time to whenever spoilers we talk about. So I want to ask you, out of this entire season that you've been sitting on, that you filmed back in 2023, what is the scene you filmed you've been most looking forward to talking about and why?
Oh, great question. Well, there's two that spring to mind. I guess Nynaeve's finale beat is probably the most exciting moment for Nynaeve and her journey,
Yeah.
definitely. For her to be able to access channeling finally and feel in control of it, it was, I think, such a beautiful moment for her. Um, and a wonderful moment for me as an actor to be able to, go there and to do, I had to do some scuba training and learn to hold my breath for a while. And yeah, it was fun, really fun.
That's really cool. So I was gonna ask, like, how did you film that? Did they actually like dump you in a bay? Like, was that partially on sound stages? Like, walk me through it.
Yeah, no, they built a pool as you do, uh, at the back of one of our sets in Prague. They were very kind to me. It was heated, so it wasn't freezing cold, thank goodness. Um, but yeah, we spent a good chunk of a day shooting those moments. And I'm really glad we actually got to do it underwater. There's shooting a scene like that, there's a lot that could potentially go wrong. And we were
Mhm.
talking about maybe not shooting it underwater and adding in the water effects afterwards. But it was really, I think, important for me as an actor to be able to work with the actual practicalities of the elements and water. And yeah, I think it's paid off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that scene is incredible. So I'd say yeah, totally did. So the flip side of that scene, once Nynaeve parts the water in this almost like biblical sort of way, where was that filmed? Because obviously you weren't underwater there.
Yeah, you know what? Same place. So I actually can't remember what came first, but that same pool was then completely drained. So
Oh,
then
cool.
she could walk out of it and turn back around and admire what she'd just done. Yeah, but exact same place, which was really helpful for me as well.
That's very cool. So, um, obviously Leandrin plays a pretty big role in kind of Nynaeve's journey. You know, the season starts with Nynaeve kind of testifying against her, ends with that moment between these two characters. Do you think it's possible for them to have kind of any reconciliation? Do you think there's hope left, or are they just enemies for good?
I can't quite imagine what a reconciliation would look like between the two. Um, you never know. I guess one thing I'll say is that I feel like in season two there was a bond there that became quite apparent, and I would go so far as to say that it was real and true, and I do think Leandrin saw Nynaeve and vice versa. There's kind of like an understanding of one another, and I don't think that's necessarily gone away for
Hmm.
Nynaeve. I think we see at the end she still does try to see the good in Leandrin. Um, but then, after Leandrin then throws her in the sea, maybe all of that's gone out the window. So we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah, that's pretty fair. So there's another, you had some great scenes with some villains this season. There's another one that I want to ask you about, which is the scene with Nynaeve, Elaine, and Moghedien, where Moghedien is using compulsion on them. Yeah, can you talk about like the process for how that scene was constructed? Like how, whether it was direction or like the actors corresponding, like how you were going to act those compulsion scenes? Like walk me through it a little bit because that was a really standout scene of the whole season.
Yeah, that was super fun to shoot. If my memory serves me correctly, I do think it was a complete collaboration between our wonderful director Marta and the actors, and also our writing team. Like, we really needed to convey that compulsion is quite different and also very disturbing. And we were going for these, Elaine and Nynaeve being almost childlike, kind of stripped of any inhibitions and just being in awe of Moghedien. And yeah, it's so creepy. But Laia, who plays Moghedien, she just went for it. So it made our jobs that much easier too.
Yeah. Yeah, she's fantastic this season. So Nynaeve and Moghedien they have an interesting relationship to say the least in the books. Are you hoping now that Nynaeve has accessed her power to get another crack at Moghedien in the future, should the Wheel of Time return?
I think scene one, season four, let's start it off with a bang and let's have a Moghedien and Nynaeve showdown. I'd love that.
Amazing. I think I have probably time for one more question. So, um, Tanchico, haven't asked you about just shooting there yet. So, what was your most memorable day on set in Tanchico and why?
Oh, great question. Um, I think the first time walking through the streets of Tanchico and just seeing just how different the sets were and the costumes and the design of everything. Like, they had a real life snake there that we had to move around, and yeah, it was just a completely different world that we've seen on the show. And I just think it's such an integral part of the season. And I just think they went all out on the design, and it was really fun because you see how these characters relate to the world around them. And for Nynaeve, she's incredible. Like, she's so out of her comfort zone. So that was really fun to play. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that setting is incredible. They really outdid themselves. Well, Zoe, thank you so much for taking the time to talk today. And congratulations on season 3. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. So glad to hear that. Thanks so much.